Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. Mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, and live the life we love. It's Wednesday, so it's my bad joke day. You don't have to understand Yiddish. Hopefully you've heard phrases like this a lot, so we'll get right to it. This guy calls his friend over to his house and says, "You're not going to believe how I've trained my dog. Understands the nuances of human language. You got to come over. I got to show you." He says, "This is fantastic." So he comes over. He says, "All right, sit on the couch over there." Turns to the dog and says, "All right, fetch." The dog jumps up on the couch next to his friend and says, "You know what kind of life I have here? This is unbelievable. He gives me this dry food to eat twice a day. It's horrible. He only takes me out every now and then it's just like a pee-pee and a caca. Like I don't get a chance to exercise. And you think it would kill a guy if he brought over like a female dog that I could enjoy myself or something like that? But no, nothing. Can you imagine this?" And the guy says, "That's amazing." He says, "Your dog talks like that?" He says, "No, it's not so amazing. I didn't say to him, I said to him, fetch, but what he did was he would kvetch. Just complain. Fetch, not fetch." Okay. Anyway, journal writing people, how are we doing? How do you take risks? That's an interesting question, because life says take a risk, death says play it safe. Normally other people think of it as the other way, right? The death says take a risk and life says play it safe. No. If you're going to find out what you're made of, life says take the risk. Death says play it safe. Work with that. Either write what you're feeling about that, elevate the conversation with those in your clan, or get back to me. I'll tell you what happens to my life, and you can share with me what's going on in your life. All right. Now, we all have so many mental tensions generated by the claims that are made upon us, all the forces that draw upon us, and it drains the art of living from our life and lets a hectic life eclipse our peace of mind. And if you don't know how to make your art form or whatever discipline you use, whether it's yogic or not, fresh, virginal, passionate, exciting, then discipline becomes a kind of mechanical format, and you maintain yourself in a kind of barren existence. So you have to learn to turn yourself on every day and renew. Now, so many of us don't understand the relationship between fate and destiny. Fate is the restricted part of your life, something that's been given to you that you have no choice about. But your destiny is hidden within the limits of the fate. It's a hidden key in there. And it's for us to break it open. But first you have to love your fate, amor fati. Can you see how your life is just the way it is right now and completely accept it? Draw it to you. Now, over the course of evolution, anthropologists have tried to give humanity, our species, a name consistent with what was going on at that time of our evolution. So you have way back there Homo habilis or Homo faber, man the maker, human the tool maker. You have Homo sapiens, man the knower. And then I like Homo ludens, man the player. The one that's learned to use fun. It's a word that's hardly used in psychology, right? How you connect to the superfluous divine beauty all over. The soul has a need for beauty. We should all call ourselves, even though we're not doing a very good job at it right now at a planetary level, but at an individual level, Homo aestheticus, human the beautifier. How do we bring beauty into everything that we're doing? And of course, that means you have to play with it. You got to dance with it. In India, they call it the lila, the mad dance of life. It's playful, right? And it's ensnaring in its display. And then you could look at how do you heal yourself? Therapy becomes an aesthetic activity. How do you make your life more beautiful than it actually is? And then you see nature as beauty, not some soulless dead machine of matter, something that's alive, animated, re-enchant the world, see beauty everywhere. And I've been saying that the city, a lot of people think you can only find that beauty in nature, but even in the city, every time you get a chance to see a tree or a bush or grass or even weeds or the way somebody keeps their lawn, it's your chance to connect to the non-human part of nature and see the beauty there. Now, yoga is about an individual experience. They call it self-realization or enlightenment. Each person needs to get turned on and experience this directly for themselves. There's little need for an individual to develop a relationship with the transpersonal source of their own existence if religion mediates between you and the individual, between you and the great other. So it's all about, what are you going to do? How are you going to experience it? Not take anybody else's word for it. Not be satisfied with what you read in books. But how do you yearn for that experience? And yearning is one of the things that brings it on. Because if you're not interested and you're lukewarm, it rarely happens to people that don't care about this. So then you have to tune into law, the karmic law, the cosmic law. You could call it God if you want to, if you saw it as unchanging law, a principle that's unchanging. No exceptions to this, no favorites to this. Everybody has to face this in the same way. So what I suggest is keep your visit, your daily visit with Spirit, however you conceive that to be, and let your deeper self open to what I call the tidal waters, the ebb and flow of things. Because that connection will charge you with vitality and bring a flow into your life that carries away anything that's lifeless and stale. And it's this circulation of your connection with Spirit that makes all the difference in your life. And hopefully it'll also help you fulfill the reason for being, if you don't have one yet, or you don't think that that's even possible. Chances are you're out of connection with that. So I hope that even listening to this gives you the opportunity to experience joy. And the motivation for experiencing joy is more joy. Joy is the motivation for seeking joy. No other reason outside. Just like there's no other reason why do you play. There's no ulterior motive. It's just a spontaneous act. So find a way to put yourself in that play world, and then you realize you can continue to choose and therefore cause what is active in your vibration. And you stay there long enough for the law of attraction, which says that which is like unto itself is drawn, to get a foothold on it and help you manifest that into your life. Have a great day. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow.